I am Om in all the Vedas. We haven't really unfolded the meaning of Om yet, but, and for those of you that might be new to this, this is the symbol of Om. So when he says, I'm Om in all the Vedas, Vedas, of course, are not just the texts. I mean, that is, what we call the Vedas, and that might even be the reference here to that. But it's the body of knowledge. So it's the knowledge of everything, right? Because the Vedas are knowledge of the entire apparent reality and how to navigate dharmically within it to get what you want. And also the knowledge, in the latter portion of the Vedas, in the Upanishads, it's the knowledge of our true nature. So it's absolute awareness as well, or at least it reveals that. So the Vedas in themselves are not absolute awareness, but they point the way, they indicate it. Or Vedanta does. So Om, just very briefly, has three components to the symbol, you might say. And they represent the three bodies, the three states, either way. So the big three, okay, that is the waking state. Or the gross body. Now why, because, well, wait a minute, in the waking state, aren't we do experience the subtle body, right? Because we have thoughts. And the causal body is always there. So we're actually experiencing three bodies, but it's only in the waking state that the gross body obtains. And so we say, that represents the gross body. The little loop here, that is the subtle body. And also the dreamer. We'll talk about this in more detail later, but the dreamer, somebody was just asking about it at the break, the dreamer is, or even just the thoughts in your mind, they're just projections of your vasanas. They're, think about it. There are things that you do in your dreams that you can't do here, like fly or something, but very rarely, if at all, I've never had the experience of anything being in my dream that isn't possible or isn't somehow recognizable within the context here. Like, okay, we can't fly, but if I'm flying in a dream, I've got a body and I'm probably flying over a landscape that's composed of trees and grass and dirt and water and, I see other beings, even if they're beings that are extraterrestrials. I've seen pictures of extraterrestrials, or at least what they're supposedly supposed to look like. Or I might have imagined that in my mind, so it's a vasana. So the dreamer, anyways, and your thoughts are projections in the subtle body, but though you do experience a physicality, it's not the same physicality that your gross body is going through. So actually in the dream, you only have access to two bodies. It's coming out of the causal body, and then it's just the vasanas projecting. So it's the subtle body and the dreamer, so that's that. And then the little part on top is the causal body. The unmanifest realm, or we could just say the storehouse of all, all the possible vasanas, or it's the fabric. Its fabric is the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And then, if you don't know, we're seemingly leaving something out, right? Because awareness. So that's the silence. Om is not simply the sound. It is also the silence in which it arises, or it is meant to indicate the silence in which it arises. Because there's the silence before it arises, there's a silence that is the substrate for the sound in which, to resonate, and then there's the silence upon its dissolution, you might say. So that symbol comprises everything there is. That's why it's such a sacred symbol. Not just because it looks cool.